Doing a full body workout with an emphasis on the shoulder. Now what that means is we're gonna be targeting that deltoid muscle. I've picked out 3 exercises to target the front, back, and middle of the deltoid muscle. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and hit that like button for me to let me know you want more of this type of content, and that helps support the channel, so thank you for that. So we're gonna start with a warm-up. We're gonna be doing 2 exercises in that warm-up to start warming up the shoulder and chest. So for that, we're going to start with a classic bench press. So for this, we're gonna be using dumbbells. I'm gonna be grabbing a slightly lighter dumbbell than I would do the exercise with, and that gets the muscle ready to work, gets blood flow into that shoulder. A lot of people don't realize the bench press is actually a anterior or front deltoid movement. So you can actually build up that front of that shoulder with this exercise. So I really like that because we're doing a compound movement, which is working a lot of muscles at once. We're working the pectoral muscles, the anterior deltoid, which is the front of the shoulder, and the tricep especially. So from here, I'm going to push my chest out and then bend my elbows, bringing the hands wide. So trying to go all the way down, all the way up. Now this shouldn't be strenuous yet. So if it's really a struggle to get 10 reps, you're going too heavy for your warm up. So we want to try and grab a lighter dumbbell than what you would normally start with. If you don't have a lighter dumbbell, you can always start with just doing some body weight push-ups. Even with knees bent, that would be a good warm-up to start with. Just getting those muscles engaged, getting blood flow into it and ready to go. You should feel that in the front of your shoulder a little bit as we go down. So this is our first exercise, is that dumbbell bench press. So that's gonna hit the front of the deltoid. Now we're gonna hit the posterior or rear deltoid in the back. So to do that, we need a pulling movement, something that pulls that shoulder into extension. So for that, I like to use the same weight of dumbbell for my warm-up and do a supported row. Now, if you don't have a bench, what you can do instead of doing a row like this, where you're full hanging, pulling up to the back, if you don't have a bench, you can put your hand on your knee, 1 foot back, still full hanging, pulling up to the back, doing a supported row. So the important part though is to let that arm hang all the way down, because you want to really feel that stretch in that shoulder, and that's what's going to get you that extra bit of posterior deltoid and lat. So we're working the lats, the posterior deltoid, the shoulder blade retractors like the rhomboids and the traps, and some of the biceps with this. Trying for about 10 reps. And switch to the other side. So letting your arm fully hang, trying to keep your back straight, pulling up to the back. So you're trying to touch the ground almost with the dumbbell to let your arm fully pull into that flexion position. Because as you go into more flexion, you're putting more of a stretch on that posterior deltoid, that rear deltoid. So that's those 2 exercises by themselves are going to hit the front and back of your shoulder. So we'll cover the middle in just a second, but we're going to do 2 sets of those real fast to get some upper body development along with an emphasis into that deltoid. So I'm gonna grab a heavier dumbbell, feel a little bit more warmed up. So I'm gonna go to a full weight dumbbell. It means I'm adding about 10 pounds to it. Now, if you don't feel quite warmed up yet, you still feel stiff in your shoulders, what you can do is, instead of going right to your working weight or right to what is gonna tire you out, try just gradually increase that up to where you start feeling tired at 10 reps. And that will help you ease into that workout a little bit better. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know in the chat. We're going to go into a dumbbell bench press, working the front of that shoulder along with your chest, that pectoralis major muscle, and that tricep muscle. So anterior deltoid, pectoralis major, tricep. So I'm gonna put the dumbbells on my knees, bring my knees up to get them right over the top of my shoulders. From here, pushing my chest out to really open up that chest. Bring it down to the inside of my chest where I'm just tapping with that dumbbell. I'm trying to go all the way down for full range of motion. Trying for about 10 reps. Feel that working in the front of your shoulder and front of your chest. And put it back on your knees and sit back up. So that anterior deltoid, that front deltoid, pulls your shoulder like this. So if I'm pushing up in that bench press, that's why that anterior deltoid really works in this compound movement. It pulls the arm forward. There are other exercises that do that. I like this one though because it's a compound movement, so I'm getting a lot of muscles all at once. An exercise we're going to be doing later for the middle deltoid will be more of an isolation movement that works more the deltoid by itself. So they're both good, but I like this one because I get more muscles engaged for just one exercise. So I'm going to set one dumbbell down and go into a row with this same dumbbell weight. So, one hand right underneath the shoulder, trying to keep the back straight, letting the dumbbell fully hang to the ground, so I'm stretching that shoulder and pulling up to the back. So I'm stretching that posterior deltoid and pulling up. That high tension is what's gonna help grow that muscle. That's why I like doing one side at a time, where I can really generate more tension in that muscle. If I was doing two arms at a time, it would be hard for me to really let fully flex into that position. And switching to the other side. Grabbing a quick sip of water. It's pretty hot and humid today, so it makes it a little more challenging to work out and have to drink a little bit more water. How about where you guys are at? Is anyone else having to deal with the heat? I know for me, that's the biggest limiter on my workouts is overheating. So letting it fully hang on the other side, trying to match the same number of reps. And 10. Now this is hitting that posterior deltoid for that shoulder, as well as the lats in the upper back, the bicep in here, and then some of the shoulder blade muscles in the back. So a lot of muscles working in this one movement, but that full flexion position, fully hanging, is really gonna emphasize that posterior deltoid more than if you were just to let it partly hang. That last little bit from here to here really engages that posterior deltoid. All right. Now, since we're already set up for this exercise, I like to go just straight back in to a second set, so it reduces the setup time. Let's just go through a workout a bit faster. Might take a minute between, but I'm all set, ready to go for the next one as soon as my heart rate comes back down. Now, right now mine's about 145. I'm gonna let it drop closer to 130 before I go into another set, because I don't want my heart to be the limiting factor. I want my muscles to be. So, today, because the heat, heart rate is a little bit higher, takes more circulated blood to keep my body cool because it's hot and humid. Especially because this is working a lot of muscles all at once. It's much more easy to overheat. So hands at shoulder width, doing a bench press with dumbbells. So chest out, bringing the hands down to the chest. We're doing 10 more reps, and then we're gonna switch to another exercise. 10 more reps of each, rather. Going all the way down to really let that muscle fully stretch. That high tension is what really builds muscle. And relax. And one more set of rows. In that posterior deltoid. Now we're covering the front and back with these two exercises. Next, we're gonna do an exercise for that middle section of the deltoid. There's sort of 3 parts to that deltoid, 3 different heads. We've got the front and back with these, and we're about to hit the middle one in just a second. So if that sounds good to you, hit that like button for me to let me know you want more of this type of content. It also helps support the channel. So I appreciate you guys being here and making fitness a part of your daily life. Now, if you're on the fence about starting, I'd encourage you to start today. Even if it's imperfect, it's always the best time to start right now. It'll always be harder later, so now is the right time. If you haven't quite started yet, if you aren't ready to commit, I'd encourage you, this is the best time for you. So, if I can help in any way, let me know. Or if you want to know how to do a particular muscle group or exercise, I'm here to help you not injure yourself and be able to ease into fitness in a healthy way. So, going back to here, laying the dumbbell fully hang, back straight to protect your back. I like to look up a little bit to protect that back, and point up to your shoulder or up to your rib cage. Fully hanging up to the ribs. Two more, 9 and 10. and relax. All right, let's set these dumbbells to the side. And we're gonna move on to targeting that middle deltoid now. So we've been doing compound movements, which target a lot of muscles at once. Now we're gonna be moving to an isolation movement that more or less targets primarily that deltoid, that middle deltoid right down the middle. It helps widen your shoulders. So whether you're looking for a better shoulder strength, or if you're looking for shoulder width, both of them are this muscle right here. Hey Zan, good to see you. Welcome. Zan, did you change your name? I feel like I recognize your image, but it looks like you have a different name on the chat. Well, welcome, good to have you. Now for this movement, I'm doing a much lighter dumbbell. Just trust me on this, does not take a really heavy dumbbell to get a great exercise with this. Amazing content, bro. It's my first time here. Hey, welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So we're gonna do a lateral raise using dumbbells. Now, there's pros and cons to this. One of the nice things is it's a exercise you can do with just dumbbells, and you can hit both sides at the same time. So we're gonna do a lateral raise with this. So from here, you're gonna start with your hands right at your sides, and you're going to lift up to shoulder height. Now, important thing, I wanna lift straight out to the sides. I don't wanna be forward like this. It's not a bad exercise, it's just not what we're doing with this, because we wanna target that middle of the shoulder. If I pull forward, I'm actually pulling into those anterior deltoids again. We're not getting the full middle deltoid workout. So I'm gonna try and lift out to the sides and then back down. So only going as high as your shoulder. Now, if you go higher than your shoulder, it's not a bad thing. But at that point, we are starting to use more of those traps, which are the top of the shoulder, rather than that middle of the deltoid. I'm trying for about 10 reps. 9, and 10, and relax. I'm gonna set down the dumbbells. Now you should feel burning in those shoulders right in here. If you feel it up here in your neck, try and not lift your shoulders like this. Try and keep them down, away from your ears. If you're feeling it up here, you're probably lifting some with the traps. You could drop the dumbbell down to a lighter dumbbell. If you want to, you can even take a water bottle and start with that water bottle. Just make sure the cap's on so you're not pouring water onto the floor. That'd be bad. But even just a water bottle can be a good start where you're using, because water is actually pretty heavy. So a 16-ounce water bottle, that would be a pound. Or you could do a water jug even, and be able to adjust the weight and add more and more water as you go. Especially if, I know for these, they start at 10 pounds. So that's one thing I like about these. They can go heavier and heavier in really precise increments. If you want to set like these and want to support the channel, I do have affiliate links down below. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it does help support the channel if you want to use gear like I have. However, if you have your own gear, totally great. If you ever have questions on how to use what you have, I'm here to help. But so I'm starting with 10 pounds, lifting out to the side. I'm trying to do multiple sets of these. And this is really what's going to cause your shoulders to grow, is to increase the times we do this, how many times we repeat this. So I'm going to try for several sets of these to really emphasize that deltoid muscle. Try and keep good technique the whole time. I should feel that burn in the middle of my shoulder. I'm going until that fatigue builds up in the muscle. And 10, and relax. I'd like to aim for about 10 reps. Now, the exact number of reps don't matter too much. Anywhere between 5 and 30 is fine, but I like 10 for a good spot to shoot for, where you're balancing that high weight versus high reps. Marco says, what do you think about training to muscle failure? It's my first time here. Hey, welcome, good to see you, Marco. So that's a great question. I think that, what he's talking about is muscle failure, which is when you're doing an exercise and you literally cannot lift the weight another time. I think that training close to muscle failure is really important, where you're approaching that muscle failure point, where you're tiring out the muscle, and that's gonna cause it to grow. I do think that I tended to get too close to muscle failure in my workouts when I was younger, and that actually limited how much my muscle was growing, because you want to get close to failure, but the closer you get, the more fatigue and soreness you're building up in that muscle without a equivalent amount of muscle growth in doing that. So you want to get, the suggestion right now from what I've read in the literature is that you want to get within 2 reps of failure. So if you are doing 10, if you were really pushing as hard as you could do maybe 12. So getting to that 10 where you're approaching muscle failure, but not quite reaching it, lets you get more workouts done during the week, and over the long term actually has a greater benefit, because there's less fatigue while still having most of the gains of muscle failure. So hopefully that helps. I know I used to think, oh, I have to go to failure every time, and then actually slowed down my progress. I've actually been able to grow more muscle, getting close to failure, but not actually touching failure. How many exercises for the shoulders? So we're doing 3 exercises for the shoulders. We did a dumbbell bench press. So we did a dumbbell bench press for the anterior deltoid, that front of the shoulder. We did a supported row for the posterior. And now we're doing a lateral raise for that middle deltoid. So I'm doing 3 different exercises for hitting each part of that deltoid muscle. So we're gonna go back into a lateral raise. Hey Marco, thank you for your question. That was a really good question. So lateral raise, starting with your hands straight at your sides. You want that in line with your shoulder, don't pull to the front. You want right here, straight out to target that middle deltoid. So lateral raise, I'm only going as high as my shoulder. So if you go up past this range, the traps start to engage. If I keep it down here in this range, it's more of that deltoid muscle that engages. So if you are feeling it in your traps, try and lighten the weight and really keep those shoulders down and back. Don't elevate the shoulders in this movement. And it will work a little bit of the traps, but our goal is to really target those deltoids. So keeping it here and down will limit how much the traps engage. We're really engaging those deltoids a lot more. And keeping the hands straight out to the sides. So the traps do engage a little bit at the top, especially. The higher up you go, the more those traps engage. So this is an isolation exercise for those deltoids. And it should feel that burn in the top of your shoulder, or the middle top of your shoulder, right in here. If you feel it more up here, try and lessen the load. Drop those dumbbells down a little bit and keep that all in this range where you're feeling it right here on the top of your shoulder. Whew. So I'm taking just a minute between, letting the lactic acid get cleared out of the muscle. If you feel that burning feeling in your muscle, that's actually acid that's a byproduct of metabolism. And that's that burning feeling in that muscle. So as you breathe in, breathe out, your body can clear that out, turn it into carbon dioxide that you breathe out. So if you ever feel that burn feeling, it's actually a good thing. It helps promote muscle growth, but it also is not really that comfortable. So give your body a little bit of time to clear that out. How much rest would you recommend between hard sets? So that's another good question. So Subhan, thanks for that question. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. I like to take a minute or two between to let my heart rate come back down, to let my body cool off a little bit. It depends on person to person, but usually 1 to 2 minutes between is a pretty good amount. You can take longer. It just means your workouts will take longer. You'll spend more time to get the same amount of workout volume. So it's not a minus to take longer if you want to. Just know that you could probably get more workout done in the same amount of time if you reduce the amount of rest. That's one of the advantages of what's called a superset, where we're working complementary muscles together. So non-overlapping muscles that lets you get a better workout or it lets you get the same workout in, I should say, in less time. So if you're limited on time, limiting rest can help get through the same workout faster. And that's about it for me. So I'm getting pretty close to that failure point. So I'm gonna actually reduce it down. I might have to do what's called a drop set, which on my last set, I don't hit that 10 rep mark. I maybe do a few reps less than that, where I'm actually reducing the work that I'm doing a little bit as the muscle gets more and more fatigued. So I like to take at least a minute between sets, or do supersets, where I'm doing like a pushing movement and a pulling movement as a pair of exercises. Well, one side's resting, the other side's working. Whew. So since we're doing a deltoid emphasis, I'm doing a lot more sets of deltoid. I'm doing just 2 sets of the chest and back to help maintain the muscle growth I've already done in that muscle. But since I'm specializing into that deltoid growth, I'm trying to aim for more like 5 sets of deltoid in a workout. And if you count the initial exercises, that's actually an extra 2 sets of half sets with compound movements. So, because right now I'm trying to cut weight so I have less calories, that means I'm emphasizing smaller muscles that recover faster, take less energy and less calories to recover from that soreness. So that's why I like to do a deltoid muscle during a calorie deficit, where I'm trying to lose size a little bit, where I'm trying to cut weight. So last set of lateral raises, starting with your hands at your sides, lifting up to the sides, trying to aim for anywhere more than 5 reps is fine. Just like you're making a snow angel. Same movement. You want your arms straight out to the sides, so I'm not lifting forward as I'm doing this. I'm trying to go straight out to the sides. And relax. All right. So that was all of the upper body. I'm going to do one lower body exercises to finish out. So I'm going to do some split squats. I like those because they really emphasize a lot of the muscles in your lower body. And I find that those exercises really help my entire thigh muscle feel better. It helps me with flexibility as well as engages all those muscles down there. I go to sleep now. Good luck, bro. You have a great smile. Hey, thank you for being here. Hope you have a great rest. So these, I will say, split squats tend to be more intense. So I tend to take a little bit more rest during them. Subhan says, sadly I have to go, but I'll check out your other videos about forearms since mine are pretty weak. Hey, hope that helps. Thank you for being here. Always love to see you. If you ever want to drop by, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you there. So, for a split squat, I'm gonna hold, if I'm working my left leg, I'm gonna hold the dumbbell in my right hand. I'm gonna start seated, bring my foot out straight in front. That lets me know how far away from the bench I need to be. From here, I'm gonna step forward, put the other foot on top of the bench. So this is the leg I'm working. So opposite hand, opposite leg. I'm gonna bend my knee, kneeling where my back leg almost touches the ground or just taps the ground. I'm trying to go for 10 reps. I'm bending my knee in the same direction as my toe is pointing. So I'm not letting the knee buckle in, keeping it pointed straight to the front. I think that was 8, 9, and 10. And then same thing on the other side. So I'm finishing out with legs. Legs, I find, are the most tiring thing for me. So I like to either put them at the beginning where I get them out of the way, or at the end where I don't have anything else I have to do after. And stepping forward, other leg up on top, opposite hand, bending the knee, try and go all the way to tapping the ground with your back leg to get that deep knee bend to really emphasize those quads. And one more. And relax. Whew. Okay, noted. I'll see you in those streams too. Hey, well, glad to have you. Yeah, the whole goal with this is I want to help people make fitness part of their lives. And I wanted to show you this is very real. I'm not telling you to do one thing and doing it something different. I'm showing you the workouts I do on camera because I think these are real and helpful. I'm not gonna do something different than what I tell you guys to do. So I'm right here. It's a real workout, really working out together. If I can help you in any way, make fitness a part of your life so you can live a happy, healthy life. I want people to be able to move and enjoy their life and be strong and healthy. So, whew. Gonna take a moment, let my heart rate drop back down. Turn on the fan real quick because it's starting to get really hot. Let me know, do you guys find that it's more heat that slows you down in your workout? Or is it muscle fatigue? Or something else? Let me know. I know for me, it's the heat. Staying cool, I can work out really effectively, but as soon as I overheat, it's very fatiguing. One time, I was working out in a therapy pool, working with a client, and a therapy pool is actually, I'm gonna stand up. So therapy pool is really chlorinated and really hot like a spa or a jacuzzi. So I was dehydrating in the pool and didn't realize it until it was already overheating. So it's starting to turn bright red. And fortunately someone caught that and let me know that I was overheating and to go get water. So it was that's when I learned very important that even if I don't feel it, make sure I stay hydrated, make sure I keep cool. So I would say, make sure you have a bottle of water or access to water somewhere is really a good idea while you're working out. Got one more set to do for legs. So for a split squat, putting one foot out in front. I'm gonna start actually with my left, so I'll keep the dumbbell in the opposite hand. From here, I'm starting with my left side because it's my non-dominant leg. So that way if I can match that on my stronger leg. So going all the way down, tapping that knee, try and keep your front leg in line with your toe. And 10. And same thing on the other side. Finishing with legs. Getting that full body. So we worked upper body with the first 3 exercises. And now I have one more for lower body. Doing that split squat. You can feel this all the way in the back of your thigh and top of your thigh. Hang on. 9. And last one. 10. All right. Hang on. There we go. So, that was our full body workout with dumbbells. Thank you everyone for being here. If you like these sort of workouts and want to see more, I host these on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So hope to see you there, and thank you.